So we are interested in unit conversions. When we talk about unit conversions, we are simply talking about a calculation such as you want to go from meters into centimeters. So that would be a unit conversion, converting from one unit to another. That's our ultimate goal, for us to be able to do that. But before we can, it's important that we're comfortable with two other skills that are going to help us out. That one's main skill is how to look at a conversion chart. But we're also going to have to recall how to interpret negative exponents in order to do that. And in order to do that, we're going to have to understand how to create a fraction out of a whole number. So I'm going to start what I call part one, which is learning how to interpret negative exponents. So first, a quick refresher on whole number fractions. I'm going to write a whole number here, number 3. So we want to be able to write numbers as a fraction. And it's just a one-step process. Convert from a whole number to a fraction. That is, by the number by 1. So 3 is equal to 3 divided by 1. Of course, that makes sense. Divide any number by 1 and it's just itself. So it's still 3. So it's simple as that. To show you another example. 10 written as a fraction. 10 equals 10 divided by 1. It's that simple. So the second part of this, how do we interpret a negative exponent? You guys most likely forgot by now. So here's a reminder. Here are the steps. This is part 2. Number 1, put the number in fraction form. Number 2, flip the fraction. Number 3, turn the negative exponent positive when you flip it. Let me illustrate that. We're given 10 to the negative 2. Step 1 was to get it into a fraction. Based on what I just demonstrated, you know that that is just 10 to the negative 2 divided by 1. So that's our step 1. Step 2, flip the fraction. Flip it over, so it's now 1 over 10 to the negative 2. Oh, but wait, step 3 is turn the negative positive. So when you flip it, it becomes positive 2. And that's easy. Here's a quick trick when multiplying any number. When you have 10 to any exponent, just write the 1 and a number of zeros after equivalent to the exponent. So there's 2, so it's 2 zeros. So it's 1 over 100. It's that simple. So I'll demonstrate this one more time. This was your step 3. Demonstrate this one more time. We'll look at 1 over 2 to the negative 2. Step 1 is get it in fraction form. It's already as a fraction. So we'll move to step 2, flip the fraction. So now it's just 2 over negative 2. But wait, step 3, it's now positive 2. 2 squared, it's just 4. That's as simple as that. So now we have managed to get through the first half of our pre-learning. Now for the second half, how do we look at a conversion chart? Let's see. textbook in chapter 1 has one right here. So it looks a little bit confusing when you first look at it. You guys, I'm sure have used it before, probably in chemistry, but you might not remember. So it's time for a refresher. So I'm interested in this line right here, 10 to the negative 2 centi. I'm going to write that down. I'm going to make some more room over here. To the negative 2 centi. So this is the way that I like to look at it. We just pull this information straight from the conversion chart, but now we need to know what to do with it to make it more useful. So what I like to do is I like to imagine something that I'm more comfortable with. I'm comfortable with meters. A meter is about a yard, about 3 feet. That's easy to work with. The meter is a base unit, which means that it's not going to be like a centimeter, for example, or a kilometer. It's not going to be some sort of extension of the base unit. It is the base unit, meters. So when I write these two facts down, I like to draw a line in between. And I imagine that the base unit is right here by the number. Base unit in our case, I chose meters. So it means this would be centimeters. I'll write that over here. And I'll pretend there's an equal sign right here. So now it's 10 to the negative 2 meters equals how many centimeters? It's just 1. So using what we learned earlier, we know that 10 to the negative 2 is just 1 over 100 meters equals 1 centimeter. Now we have a number written as an awkward fraction. I don't like that. So using algebra skills, I'm going to cancel out that 100 and bring it to the other side. Now I remember from algebra, anything that you do, you have to do to both sides of the equation. So I'm really just going to put parentheses over the whole thing and do times 100. So this is times 100, this is times 100. 100 divided by 100 is just 1, so they cancel out. So 1 meter equals, now I have to do 100 times 1, that's 100. 1 meter equals 100 centimeters. So let me just spell out what I did. Took the conversion factor straight from the textbook, straight from the conversion chart. And then the first thing I did was I wrote in the M, write the base unit, which is M. Next to the number, 2, I wrote the equal sign. Between the two sides. And then 3, remember that you need to know the number of units that are over here from the conversion chart. It's always going to be 1. This means that when you get the conversion factor and it says 10 to the negative 2, it's 10 to the negative 2 base units equals 1 of this unit that you got from the conversion chart. So write 1, or just know that it's 1. In front of conversion prefix. And I said the word prefix because, see right here, these are prefixes since he was a prefix. So I get that process is a little bit confusing, but it's only 3 steps. You're writing the base unit in, you're writing the equal sign, and you're writing the 1. Follow those 3 steps and you'll be able to get something more useful out of these conversion charts than what you get at a first glance.